every Tuesday.
That's the whole point of the training.
Okay, we have
Is that you train the authorized. So that there is
the issue
He's called Regional Director of the Bureau of Internal
888 News and Media Forum has been in existence for the last 13 years. We'll be having our 13th anniversary next month, first Tuesday of September, and it was founded by Consul Bobby Joseph, our founder for the 888 News and Media Forum, and the format was every year it is assigned or hosted by different big hotels in the city, and there was a time that we moved on to another hotel, and eventually Marco Polo adopted 888 News and Media Forum, and this is our official hotel, the venue of the weekly forum, and we have invited guests from the different government agencies, from the NGOs and the POs, including labor sector, the marginalized fisher folks, to discuss and share with us their issues and concerns. And this is a forum of free expression. 888 News and Media Forum has been awarded or a recipient also of a lot of awards and accolades from the city government of Cebu City, Mandaue, and as well as the province of Cebu, and some governmental or non-governmental organizations. So for this program, to this issue of our 888 News Forum, we have guests this morning, and they will talk and share with us their programs and give us some insights on their business, especially that when I entered the room, I saw a lot of books. I remember when I was still in high school, it's only, I think, Charles Dickens that I know of all the authors here. And of course, we have Oprah here and Hillary Clinton. But well, when somebody told me last Saturday, can you come over here at Landers? Why in Landers? What's there special in Landers? Big Bad Wolf. I thought it was a movie. You go, is there an ongoing movie inside the Landers? No. It's a lot of books and reading materials. Okay, sorry for that. Anyway, so we have here the founder of Big Bad Wolf Books Sale in the person of Ma'am Jacqueline Nang, and our guest also, and I think he is not a first timer here in 888 News Forum. We have also Toby Florindo of Gawad Kalinga, Cebu Provincial Head. So let's start. Ladies first. Ma'am Jacqueline, good morning and welcome to 888 News Forum.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, all our media friends. Thank you for having us. My name is Jacqueline Ng. I'm born in Singapore, but currently live in Malaysia. The business, Big Bad Wolf Books, was started way back in 2009. We are celebrating our 10 years anniversary. And by the way, congratulations to AA Forum for celebrating the 13th year. So it's our second time in Cebu. Our first time was in 2018, July. It was also our first time in the country last year, 2018. We started in Manila in February 2018. At that time, while we're still doing the event in Manila, there was an online petition from the people of Cebu to request if Big Bad Wolf Sale could have an event in Cebu City itself. We flew from Manila to Cebu actually at that week to take a look at whether there's suitable venue that can accommodate us. And we found IC3, and we able to actually prepare and came over in July 2018. The response was really overwhelming that we were very fortunate and very honored to receive so much support from the people in Cebu, and they have been asking us to come back. We definitely will come back because reading, as you know, is not something that could be done. To promote reading, to instill inspiration, to meet the mission of even converting a non-reader to a reader is not something that we could do within a short time frame. We have dedicated 10 years of our time to it, and we will continue to do so because the world continues to need books. There is a lot of parts of the world where books are actually not accessible. When we started way back in 2009 in Malaysia, only 2% of the population are reading. Actually, Philippines is a real eye-opener for us because it's the first country that we stepped in that we saw so much passion for books. And the people here are a lot of avid readers. They read very widely, including fiction and non-fiction. In many countries that we go, where the parents can't speak English and are also non-readers, what they are focusing on is actually buying books for children. So a little bit of history of who Big Bad Wolf is and what we stand for. Big Bad Wolf is not just a book sale. We are known as the world's biggest book sale at the moment. We are the only one in the world who does what we do. But when we started very humbly, it was actually just a 500 square feet bookstore. It was under a different brand name. It's called Book Access in a small little shopping mall in Kuala Lumpur, with a very simple mission, which is to increase readership in Malaysia and to also increase English literacy in Malaysia. As you know, English is not our first language in Malaysia. We realize that through a small little effort of a small little bookstore, it's impossible to achieve what we want to do, which is why in 2009, 3 years after we started the bookstore, we created the event called Big Bad Wolf, an event where admission is free, and we use the name Big Bad Wolf to generate interest to a population of 98% who are not reading, right? So if you don't read, the logic is that you don't even care to attend a book sale. So we need to create something interesting, something that at least people are curious of, and we only hope that some of the readers who come over to the event will bring someone else, that someone that they bring, who most likely is not a reader, would be inspired after they have took a look at what we have to offer. That means quality books at really affordable price. In 2016, which is in end of 2015, at the end of the 6 years of Big Bad Wolf in KL, we have saw and very encouraged by the increased readership in Malaysia, where we saw young adults' books are finally moving. When we started, young adults' fiction doesn't even sell. So when we realized that the children that grew up with Big Bad Wolf have become avid readers themselves, we were further motivated that maybe our business model could work in countries with similar demographic, which is why in 2016 we moved and bring Big Bad Wolf to Jakarta, Indonesia. We went to Bangkok, Thailand, and we also go to Surabaya, Indonesia. And it's proven to be very well received in those countries, although, again, majority of the people there do not speak English, and English books were even more limited access than compared to Kuala Lumpur. As you know, in Thailand, their language is not even alphabet, it's not even ABC. It's actually harder for them to learn the English language. So in a country where tourism is one of their number one economy, and they deal with a lot of foreigners, tourists, there is still a great need for the people in Thailand to speak English. And a lot of people strive to do that, but the the common comments from the people that we know in Thailand is that no, Big Bad Wolf can't do well here because people don't read, first of all, and people can't read English. When we went to Bangkok for the first time, the books, we brought 1.5 million books, and it actually sold 92%. So it further enhances our belief for me and my husband. So it was a small company that started by me and my husband with one staff to begin with, and currently now we have 580 staff. We are currently in 10 countries. Last year we were in 7, in 16 cities, 16 events, including 3 in Philippines. And this year we are already in 10 countries. 3 new countries that were added in 2019 were Myanmar, Pakistan, and South Korea. So we wanted to continue to bring books to be accessible to other parts of the world, to the parts of the world where books are limited. And because we believe that book is not just about education and knowledge. Of course, it is primarily education and knowledge, but we believe that a book is a tool that allows a child especially to be inspired.
Okay, you operate just like a mobile bookstore because you are going from one country to another.
Yes, we are like a moving circus.
What's your mission and what's your outreach program for having this kind of a sort of mobile bookstore?
So you see, when we started a bookstore, a non-reader don't come to a bookstore. That is the big problem. Yeah. So to have an event and to make it hip and fun and 24 hours, it attracts people beyond just readers. It allows even the younger people to feel that it's happening and fun to go and attend a book fair. So that was the sole reason of how and why we do Big Bad Wolf, the name, the 24-hour concept, and making the whole association with the brand a lot more happening and fun, instead of the old concept of reading is boring and nerdy or studious. We allow the younger people now to want to come. And you will be very surprised when you see a young child, like a 3-year-old boy, pulling the mother and say that, oh, I want to go to Big Bad, I want to go to Big Bad. Whoa, because it's very rare for a child to want to be so anxious or excited to go to a book fair. But I think the brand is able to do that.
Is it run by a charitable institution, just like in the Logos Hope, a German ship flying around the world, just like that. And one of the programs is an outreach program to evangelize, a Christian evangelization, by just selling or by having a book fair in every country in the continent, just something like that.
We also know the people behind helm ships. We do when I do purchasing, I do meet them. So we do share a lot of what we do between the two of us. We are similar in many ways. They are using the ship and to create also the hype. So when they dock at a port, whether readers or non-readers, they will go just because there's this ship that arrived at the port.
Yeah.
So similarly, that's what Big Bad Wolf is about. We create an event, we come to the town or the city, and we are only here once a year. It also creates that same excitement.
I see. So much for that as an introduction to our members of the media. So we'll just hear from our lady guest speaker, more of the programs, more of their outreach on selling or having a book fair or book sale, sort of. So for our second guest, Mr. Toby Florendo of the Gawad Kalinga, the provincial head. Sir, could you share with us the updates of the housing programs and the programs being implemented by Gawad Kalinga here in Cebu province and the neighboring provinces in the region?
Yes, good morning, Art. Actually, Art, I'm here first of all as a partner of Big Bad Wolf. When you were talking about the outreach that Big Bad Wolf does, they have a program. It's called the Red Readerhood Program. We are the beneficiary. Big Bad Wolf donates a certain amount of books, and then that is the start of a fund of books. The customers, when they go to Big Bad Wolf, can also purchase these books. It's a separate book program. It's called the Red Read Hood program again. It's at the a little bit past the cashiers. When you buy these books go to Gawad Kalinga. The partnership is there because, again, the advocacy is there, but the commonality is that Big Bad Wolf and Gawad Kalinga want people who otherwise would not have the opportunity to reach their potentials to have these opportunities. Typically, it's having them access to books for Big Bad Wolf. Usually for Gawad Kalinga, it's homes for the homeless. But through our partnership, we are now able to get these books into far-flung areas all throughout the Visayas. Last year, Big Bad Wolf gave 1,000 books, but the entire Red Readerhood program actually had a total of 5,000 books. So there were another 4,000 books donated by customers of Big Bad Wolf. And these 5,000 books we gave to our GK communities all throughout Cebu, but the majority of the books actually went to public schools in Dumanhog, Dalaget, even as far as Samar, Leyte, Bicol, Bago in Negros Occidental, areas where we checked, and these are really places where they either don't have enough books or their books are already falling apart. So when we talk about the advocacy of Big Bad Wolf, this is the advocacy that a lot of people don't know. It's not just giving us readers opportunity to buy inexpensive books, but giving free books to children who otherwise would not be able to hold a book. These are the kids that, you know what, for us, it's reading is available readily, maybe even not through books anymore, but through our gadgets. But these kids where we send these books to do not have access to gadgets at all. And if nobody gives them books, they will not be able to learn how to read, to imagine, to be creative, and to eventually reach their potentials. So that is actually the advocacy that Big Bad Wolf, together with Gawad Kalinga, are pushing.
I see. So Gawad Kalinga, Sir Toby, is one of the beneficiaries of Big Bad Wolf.
Actually, I would like to proudly say that I think we're the only beneficiary of Big Bad Wolf in the Philippines whenever they have a sale in the Philippines.
I see. So you have an intention, Ma'am Jackie, to have or create or establish libraries in the far-flung areas or in different cities in the country or elsewhere?
GK, who is actually our project partner for Philippines, we are in Philippines because of GK.
I see.
Yeah, and last year we have done 3 events, and they had the books that was donated, and also with their other corporate partners, they have built quite a few libraries. They are also in close connection with the city government, where we are talking about even planning to build 24-hour libraries as well.
Okay, how many millions of brand new English books in your disposal now?
Currently in Cebu, this particular sale, we brought 1 million books, 18,000 titles.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So you have from the kindergarten up to the professional level?
We have books for even young babies, like for toddlers.
Like, for instance, let's learn ABC, something like that?
Yes, let's learn ABC, 1, 2, 3. There's activity book. There are children readers. There are our biggest bestseller is actually from the young adult fiction category. Rick Royden. I think the top 5 titles are all Rick Royden's books.
Okay, from fiction to non-fiction.
Yeah, non-fiction, of course, history, self-help. Biography is one of our top big seller. Business. There's also craft. There's also cookery. It's actually very wide.
I see. You do have books on politics?
Yes, politics and history is one of a very popular genre in Philippines.
I see. Now, how about, let's say, programs that caters to the different libraries in the country? How do you address, or do you sometimes you donate books to the different libraries or university libraries?
Actually, being the partner of Big Bad Wolf, we are the ones that look for recipients for the books. This year, aside from the public schools that we will be giving to, we have found out that there is actually an old law that requires barangays to have reading centers. And we have been going around, and maybe unfortunately, a lot of them do not have new books. The books are quite old. So what we are doing now is we are starting to profile these barangay reading centers, and eventually we will be giving to hopefully 8 to 10 barangay reading centers after the sale.
I see. Sir Toby, how do you reconcile nowadays the millennials or even our children now are always facing in the computer, or they have the technology now is changing, and it could be the technology is users friendly. So a lot of our kids are facing the computer every morning, and the parents just let the kids open the computer, and you can have a lot of books and other reading materials and games in the computer. How do you reconcile all those the problem with the new technology and with the books that you can? It's hard to bring the books in the office or what?
Interestingly enough,
It's a big challenge, actually.
Yes, but interestingly enough, Big Bad Wolf has a new product to address that. If you go to the sale, it's called the Magic Book. It's an interactive book. You download an app on your phone or your gadget, and then while you're reading the book, you can focus it on the page, and it comes alive in your hands.
I see.
But it remains a book, meaning there are certain pages that the child still has to read. So it's trying to marry the technology and the reading in the hope that the reading will continue to be pushed in the child's mind.
I see. So there is a particular or a program or an app that can be downloaded to your computer.
And it's actually it's a product that's exclusive to Big Bad Wolf. Meaning, all throughout the world, this product can only be bought in the sale. And I know because I bought 4 of them, and it's only 290 pesos for an interactive book.
I see.
It's amazing.
It's a US published product from this US publisher. We are the exclusive only for Asia. For Asia and the Middle East, Big Bad Wolf is the exclusive distributor. It's $13 US, $12.99 US. We are selling at Philippines at 290 pesos. And the publisher started this product actually about 2 years ago. Last year was the first time they launched. And the whole idea behind the product was they can see a lot of young children at a really young age are really addicted to gadget because they are given a gadget at like 2-year-old, right? And when they start to grow up with it, when they are 4 and when they are 5, they couldn't leave it. It's like part of their life. They are so addicted to it. So the publisher combined augmented reality together with the first series is actually 4 different fairy tales, and they wanted to use augmented reality to attract a child that is already addicted to gadget to touch the book.
I see.
Right, and there are pages that you can't play with it. There's no animation on it that you have to read. So literally using what they love, which is the gadget, and bring them back to a hard copy book, and thereafter they hope that the child can develop reading from a proper book. It has proven to be really well received in all the countries that we go.
Okay, Ma'am Jackie, I know you're a businesswoman in your own right in your country. Now, having this mobile bookstore, selling it to the public, and you have a recipient, a beneficiary, which is the Gawad Kalinga, and how would you treat if you are going to have a book sale in a particular city? How do you pay your taxes to the local government? Or is it just because you have a recipient, you have a beneficiary, a reputable non-government organization, you just not skip away, but just ask or request the local government for a tax exemption, something like that?
For all the countries that we are in, the 10 countries that we are in, including Philippines, we operate as a normal business, right? So with the whole incorporation of business is like a normal commercial business. There has been no exemption from all the required taxes or even duties. Certain countries even have VAT on books. So we have to follow everything. There's always a local partner in foreign countries that's part of the business. So as the brand, we bring our Big Bad Wolf books that we have sourced from many parts of the world, majority UK and US. We negotiate the best price and we present to the audience of the respective country. We try to use whatever experience that we have to curate the type of books to be presented. But in terms of the business point of it, is still operated commercially, and so far there's no special privilege. The only support that we get from some local governments is their endorsement to the event, because it is a very positive event. It promotes education, it brings books accessible and affordable to the people. So we do get a lot of support from the local government authorities to show that they endorse the event. We have to go through all the approval, like in Philippines, to even able to sell book here, you need the National Book Development Board approve.
I see.
So we have to go through everything without exemption.
Okay. Yes, thank you for that, Ma'am Jackie. Sir Toby, can we find these books in the different bookstores in the country?
I haven't been to any other bookstore in the past 2 years because I'm still finishing the books that I bought from Big Bad Wolf last year. But majority, they brought in 16,000 titles this year. And I would maybe hazard a guess that maybe if you walk into our local bookstores, you might not be able to find 16,000 titles.
I see.
The personal books that I bought for myself, I make sure the ones I buy are not available locally, because it's the opportunity to buy something that you would otherwise not have. Maybe I'm just lucky that sometimes, if it's a matter of price, but it's available here, I might be able to buy it here some other time. But while in Big Bad Wolf, if you do walk in, you will be surprised at what's available. The vast majority of different titles and different genres. If you're talking about my hobbies alone, which are comic books, golf, sometimes history books, I have seen books there that I would not imagine having reached the Philippines.
Okay. Sir M, the editor-in-chief of Mabuhay Magazine, you have some query?
Madam, that is a very good advocacy, especially with
Thank
JK.
you.
Some of us here are millennials. If we can remember about as early as 10 years ago or as late as 15 years ago, the Philippines has been regarded by the Reader's Digest the most successful magazine in the world. As the benchmark, whenever Reader's Digest would surpass their sales, all the countries in Southeast Asia, and in Asia for that matter, will follow. But the sales of Reader's Digest will constitute about 70%, while Indonesia has 20, Malaysia has 18. The impact of the reading public, reading quality books, is an example. Reader's Digest is an example. Now, why don't you try the same approach? They write all over to the country. When the population of the Philippines was about 30 million, they wrote 10 million letters. Imagine. And just, if you can get only 2% of that, my God, that's a lot of subscribers. And then, those were my grandparents, my parents, and then me. So there is a redundancy, if you could call it that. Anyway, I'm also into books. I used to publish one book. I'm not the author, I'm the publisher. Are you the publisher or just in retail?
We don't publish at the moment. We buy and we sell, yeah.
Ah, okay. So more or less you're a bookstore.
Yes,
A
you have
mobile-
bookstore.
a
Yes,
mobile
and we had
bookstore.
the event, and we create the platform, even for the local publishers as well. So in many countries that we go, we work very closely with the local publisher association or with individual authors at the same time to give them to have the platform to be able to showcase their books.
Yeah. Because I'm also...
She has a partner, Sir M, in Malaysia, the person of Mr. Yap. So they have their book access. So they have a lot of books because the name itself of their shop is Book Access.
But why Big Bad Wolf? Because Little Red Riding Hood ate the wolf? Or the other way around?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, when we have limited budget when we were starting the business with very limited resources, basically we have no money for advertising at all. So for a small little company in a country where 98% are non-readers, it's really hard to do a book fair. But we needed to do a book fair, like I mentioned just now, because it's the only way to bring non-readers to a book sale, to even look and get in touch with books by coming to an event, because a bookstore is going to be really hard to attract that. So we need to come up with a name that will go the extra mile. If we just call it Book Access Book Sale, nobody come because they don't even know who we are, they don't know what type of books we sell.
That's it.
Yeah, so it's just curiosity. Of course, Big Bad Wolf is a fairy tale character. But I still remember at that time in 2009, there were 3 staff, right? 3 girls. It was me and 2 another female colleagues and my husband. So he's the only guy. So when he suggested that we want to start a new company called Big Bad Wolf, all the 3 girls said no. Because, girls are more, we are more conservative, right, in terms of business. So we're like, no, you don't start a company with a negative name because Big Bad Wolf is a villain. Why can't you call it Riding Hood instead, So he's like, no, we have to call it Big Bad Wolf because it's big, it's bad, it has a very unique visual to it that can create a lot of interest, especially from children. It allows us to be very playful on social media because at that time, our only way to reach out to customer is actually on Facebook. So we started Facebook way where, Facebook was trying to get active in the corporate world. So we started already Facebook. We have a lot of a very personal engagement to the customer through the character Big Bad Wolf. And then he tell me, no, I insist on Big Bad Wolf because girls like bad boys. Because our target audience are actually mothers and children. So he said, girls like bad boy. It allows us to be, to have that cheeky personality that we need. So true enough, so although with 3 objections, he insisted, and the name really, really works because we can see the amount of interaction that a customer have with Big Bad Wolf is tremendous. It's a brand that is very, very well loved in Malaysia. We have a lot of strong advocates and a lot of loyal customers that follow us throughout the 10 years. And it's through them that the business has grown so far and so fast because they keep spreading the word for us. It's all through word of mouth.
I see. So that's where the name emanates, Sir M. I thought when I heard somebody invited me last Saturday, it's just a movie. A boy who cried wolf? Oh no, it's a big bad wolf.
Anyway, that's a very good advocacy, and we thank you for choosing the Philippines.
No, thank you very much.
I was about to publish also a book, along with Dr. Philemon Alberga, the late Philemon Alberga. We intend to write a book which tells the story of Cebu, which will attract the toddlers, the high schoolers, and the professionals. We will call it the Leader's Digest. After the Reader's Digest, the Leader's Digest. But unfortunately, Dr. Alberga died, and maybe I can gather some of the writers here, and maybe you can publish it through JK also, because I am also into donating books and accumulating books. Just last week I was in Dalaget. We distributed books for the far-flung barrios there, along with the IBP, the Integrated Bar of the Philippines, Cebu chapter. I was with them, and I brought 2 truckloads, pickups, to the hinterlands of Alcoy, Dalaget, and Argao. Pero these are frayed books, because these are donated books. Very, very frayed already.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, for the information of Ma'am Melanie, I wrote a book 15 years ago. I got a funding from the United Nations, from the ILO, and my book was republished again by the city government of Cebu and the Ramon Aboitiz Foundation Incorporated. And the title of the book is Greening the Workplace, a Guide to Environmental Issues at Work. I hope you have also some environmental books that carries along with you on your book sale. I urge to have also some environmental readings as part of your advocacy. And the problem in the world now is environmental problems.
Yeah, actually, it's a very popular topic right now. Even the parents are asking and requesting for young children books on environmental issues for young children.
I see.
Miss Jacqueline, I was there on the 16th, and there was a book signing by Miss Vicky Barrera with her book, The Science of the Rabbit. It's a series. So aside from her, do you also have books from other Filipino authors?
In Philippines, the publisher that is with us this time is Ananda House. So they have a presence, they have a booth showcasing their books. There is a very interesting story that I would like to share. In Manila 2019, I got to know this couple. And they were just telling me that they have a child who is autistic, right? But have in his younger days, so the child is 18 years old now, but in his younger days, he actually wrote a book called Red Bouncing Ball. It's a children picture book. So my husband was taking the initiative like, oh, since it's already done, like fully done, are we able to publish it? So we actually printed a small quantity of it, we published it, and we sold it and presented it in Manila 2019 to our customers. And this author, this is the first time author, the first book being published, he was there also to do a book signing. But what we are very proud to see is he's so proud, and he, being autistic is sometimes a big challenge for them to stand in front of such a big crowd. It's a big challenge where people are going after him and very curious about his work, very curious about his story, and very excited too to want to hear his story. But he took it with, you wouldn't even know. He was confident standing there, sitting behind a table like this. He was smiling. He was like a professional author to me. And the parents, of course, were there. The grandmother is there. And we are so proud to see this young boy suddenly become a young man, at that instance. So I think Big Bad Wolf allow us to do small little things like this that means a lot to one individual. And everything that we do, including just now, sir, the things that he do, bringing books to far-flung country on his own effort, every little thing that we do, if it could help someone, whether it's an inspiration or even is creating an opportunity, as long as we are able to release that individual's potential, that is very, very important. So I think I correct myself. We did publish one book, which is The Red Bouncing Ball. And we really want to work closer with even more local authors and local publishers. In many other countries, we actually have very close dealings with the actual association. When they participate, they will bring forth with them 40 to 50 local publishers to be able to showcase language in their own culture and their own language, which to me is very important. As we advocate for English literacy, we never would have to let go of our roots, which is our tradition, our culture, our language. We should always be able to encourage our younger generation not to forget that as well. So I really hope that we could work closer together in local context in Philippines or in Cebu, that we could promote more local authors. So if you will introduce, I will be grateful.
With the resounding success of Big Bad Wolf last year, do you expect to break that record this year? Today is the 6th day, right? 15, 16, 17, yeah.
Yes, yeah, we're about halfway through the sale, yes. We were hoping to, we are a little bit behind in terms of proportionately last year. Last year we were here in July, which I learned that is school holidays and the mothers and everybody is they have more time on their hand. This year we came in August. The number of people walking in is slightly lower, but purchasing power is still the same. The comments that we so far received from customers are more positive than last year. Last year we actually had a lot of customers who gave feedback that the queue is too long, it's just too crowded, and they waited in line for many hours. We have resolved that actually this year because it was due to a cashiering software problem, is the internet risk problem. So this year, the customers coming in are so happy because they all don't have to wait in line, everything is smooth. They all commented that the books are better. But this is what we do. The second time round, we learn. We learned from our first time. We gather the comments from our customers. We know what they prefer, so that when the second time we present, the sale is actually always better. So I do have a lot of confidence that this year we might surpass last year. So crossing our fingers, because so far I have received no negative comments. It's all positive and very encouraging.
To Mr. Toby, finally, sir, how far have you reached so far with the Readerhood program? What areas have you covered now?
What we do is after the sale, we do an inventory of the books that we actually receive. We sort them according to age, and we make sure that there are not that many repeat books in a package. So we bundle it normally in bundles of 300 to 400. Then we start looking for school libraries, public school libraries, and this year, again, focusing on barangay reading centers. And we bring the books there. For our GK communities as well, we have not just the books, but a reading program. Because we feel that it's important that when you bring a child a book, you also read the book to the child. Because children absorb better when there's an adult guiding them, explaining to them the lessons of the book, the morals of the story, how a hero acts or reacts. So we have a program for that in GK as well. So maybe if people would like to volunteer for that, we can do that in the reading centers as well. So that will be the Red Readerhood program when we have all the books inventoried at the end of the sale.
Thank you, Sir Toby. I'd like to inform our guest here that one of the famous Cebuano authors in the country, and his book is selling like a hotcake. You can find it in the Amazon.com. You can buy ablebooks.com. You can have that in ebooks. His name is Renato Madrid. And he is a priest, an active priest, a Monsignor Rodolfo Rodi Villanueva. And he has a lot of collection of books. His book is entitled Southern Harvest. And you can find a lot of books in that catalog. And he is a contemporary of Edilberto and Edith Tiempo, the forerunners of English literature in the country, teaching at the Suleiman University. And by the name itself, Renato Madrid, that's his pen name. And the vernacular name of Monsignor Rodi Villanueva is Budoy Bagumbayan, and he's published A Woman with Two Neighbors. It's a political satirical book. And I have a lot of collections because he is my former professor when I was studying English literature way back during my college days. So if you can have this as an author, a well-known author, just below with our national artists, Nick Joaquin. They're together with Nick Joaquin during the time, during the pre-martial law days. So I hope you can have this, Toby, because there's a good collection of local, and not local books. When your book is already sold in Amazon, so it's already international. He studied literature in the US, and the guy is still teaching English in the seminary until now, even though he's already 80 years old about. Yes, sir. Before Ken. Yes, sir, Toby.
Maybe to add to that, the Red Readerhood program focuses mainly on children's books. But if other individuals want to donate books for older children, maybe high school, college, graduate level, so we can get these to the reading centers as well. Gawad Kalinga would be more than willing to accept them, sort through them, and get them to these reading centers as well. You can call our office. The number is 266-1288. So we will arrange after the Red Readerhood program. After we're done with that, maybe we can get books as well for older level reading.
Yes, sir, Toby. If I may add, if you want to familiarize with the writer, you buy his book, A Mass for the Death of an Enemy. It's a good reading. Okay, sir Ken.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kenneth Rivera, Associate Editor of Cebu Mabuhay News Magazine, and at the same time, I am an educator, teaching mathematics, science, and history. And mine is not actually a sort of a question, but rather, I just like to say, terima kasih.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Only now that I had known that Big Bad Wolf originated in Malaysia. Well, I've been to Malaysia 3 times, 2011, 2016, and 2018. I'm just very grateful for this company that comes to our country, the Philippines. And because of that, when you came last year, I had bought 2 history books wherein I was really finding it difficult to, shall we say, to buy it because I haven't found it here. And it was only in Big Bad Wolf that I had discovered it. And also is many of my colleagues and even my students go there. And when it was announced in Facebook that you're coming back again, I advertise it through my pages, my photography page, Sir Ken Photography, and since I'm already here, I would like to know where is Big Bad Wolf located in Malaysia, because maybe some of these days I'd go back there.
Yes, so we are actually, our warehouse in Shah Alam. Later I'll give you my name card and I will welcome you to our office and you can see our warehouse. So I think we bought and sold probably 15 million books last year alone. So you can imagine the amount of books we actually in the warehouse. So I believe you'll be having, it's like a child in a candy land if you were to come. But I just want to say thank you to you for your support and for spreading the word of Big Bad Wolf. It is we consider ourselves like you, like an educator. You know, although we are a bookseller, but we can't be a commercial bookseller. The books that we choose, the price point that we fix, you know, the passion that we do is like how a teacher is. You know, if you are educator because it's a job, you will never be an educator, right? So I always admire school teachers. I always admire people in the education field because it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of passion for you to be in this industry. And the amount of good work that you do to influence the children that is under you or the young adults that's under you, it actually do make a huge difference. Because I always remember the teacher that really inspired me as well. But thank you so much.
Where were you located in?
We are
Malaysia?
in Shah Alam. It's still in Klang Valley. It's actually 30 minutes from the airport. It's not far.
In KLIA?
In KRA. 30 minutes from KRA, yes. But I'll give you my name card.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Again,
you.
terima kasih.
Thank you.
Anyway, ma'am, very timely that there is a program being considered by the mayor of Cebu City, Mayor Edgar Labella, to put up an area in the barangay where the children can read books. Now, this is very timely because you have books with you. Are you going to confer with the mayor regarding this plan? Because this is very, very ideal, especially for children in the rural areas, those who in the mountains, those who cannot go to school, so they can avail of these books that the mayor is contemplating. What is your opinion?
The Cebu City Mayor was actually our VIP for the launch for Big Bad Wolf Cebu 2019. So he was there, and as per what you said, he is very excited to collaborate with Big Bad Wolf to fill up the reading centers in the Balagais. And I think Toby has more information on that.
Yes, Toby. Sir Toby.
Yeah, actually, we discussed with the mayor, and a lot of the books that Gawad Kalinga will be receiving, we will be coordinating with the mayor in the identification of the barangay reading centers that will be receiving the books.
Sir Bobby Knight, you have it.
Thank you very much, sir. Madam, good morning, sir. Beloved people of this country, praise the Lord. No? I love books. No? Books are important. The value of books are so amazing that it will enrich our tranquil mind, giving us more wisdom and intelligence as to the brilliant writers. So we love books. But the question is, if you have a company of books, are you not threatened this time that this Google, etc., in this modern gadget is now trying to surpass the power of books? So are you not threatened that slowly we heard that this encyclopedia and other books are now vanishing, parang obsolete?
Yes, Sir Bobby Knights. Before you came in, Sir Toby will explain that there's a particular apps for all those books that be found in your front, in front of you. So, Sir Bobby Knights, could you explain then? You proceed with your question, another follow-up question for that, Sir Bobby Knights.
My first question was already answered.
No. Let's hear again from Sir Toby.
Big Bad Wolf has chosen a publisher that produces, it's called an augmented reality book. It's actually called a magic book for kids. It's a book that you can use a gadget with, a phone, a tablet. With the application and app, you can do things with the book. It appears on the screen when you scan the book. You will see images. You can play with it. It's interactive, but there are still certain portions of the book that you have to read. So meaning it's still a book. Actually, you can still read it on its own, but there are certain things you can do with it with the app. The purpose of that book is to engage children into reading actual books again. So to develop at a certain age, the holding, the turning of the pages, the actual reading of the book. So it's not so much that they are, you want to fight the technology, but maybe we should embrace it and use it as a tool as well and coexist side by side with the technology. Because if you try to fight it, it might be a losing battle. So you might as well embrace it and use it as a tool.
May I just add? We
Yes, ma'am,
totally agree. You know, the threat was very evident, especially 10 years ago, where, you know, the whole publishing industry, there was a lot of negative news. You know, bookstores are closing down, people are not reading. I mean, people are not reading for many reasons. One is the lifestyle is different. We are so addicted to the phone. Everything is, I want it now, 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 right? It's very demanding because everything is instant due to the advanced technology. The way we read, how we read has all been transformed. The access to information is very different. When I was young and now everything Mr. Google is the answer for everything. And that is a fact. The good news is that while that is reality, what I can see in the recent 2 years is that it's a slight shift, you know. In terms of, yes, knowledge and information, the quickest access is still through internet, right, when people access. But in terms of reading in general, people are still coming back to the hard copy because I think nowadays, whether the adults as well as the children, we are just too tired of the screen time that we have. So even the phone nowadays are reminding you that you have too much screen time this week compared to last week. If the awareness is there, even for adults as well as for parents who also have been educated, and medical studies and parents association studies have shown the negative effect of introducing gadgets and technology too young to a young child. So parents are also more aware. Even teenagers nowadays, in the recent Jakarta sale this year, we were talking to a bunch of teenagers, and they were also telling us that there's too much noise on the social media. You know, the cyberbullying is quite evident, and they are affected, you know, as a 13, 14-year-old girl or a boy, right? So they are actually buying books now because they now enjoy the quiet time they have with a book, rather than being so engrossed and emotionally affected by every word that was spoken on the social media. So they want to get away from that noise. So I actually see a bigger comeback of people seeing the negative effect of too much social media and going back to the actual books and enjoying, you know, back where we used to enjoy books. The young people are discovering that all over again. So remember when videotape came out, right? We actually thought the cinema would die because you can now watch a lot of movies at home. And then it become even more advanced. There is home entertainment system, there is surround system, there is laser disc, you know, and then now there's also Netflix, which is also really convenient. But the cinema did not die. The cinema is actually more vibrant than what it was, right? Basically, you know, when things improve, the cinema has to improve too. So same as books. If you look at the books that the publishers are publishing in the recent 10 years, it's very different from 10 years ago. Especially children books, the amount of effort that a publisher put in, you know, the design, the illustration, the texture, the feel, interaction tools, even pop-up, you know, even AR technology, all the publishers now have to compete with the technology. And they have to make it more interesting for a child now. You know, last time when we were young, our toy is very simple. Now a toy is very complicated because a child is so advanced compared to 30, 40 years ago. So the publishers are also have been very driven to improve their product. So if you see the new books that's being published now, the design, the photography, everything is so much better. So I think books has actually elevated itself.
Okay.
Yes, sir, Bobby.
Well, I'd like to thank the management of Big Bad Wolf for what they did last year. I've been traveling all over ASEAN, and I've always believed that Filipinos are not the reading kind. Simply because when I went to Taiwan, you would go to a bookstore and you will see that the bookstore is filled with people. They're sitting down along the where the books are placed, and you have a hard time walking. I went to Saigon or Ho Chi Minh City, the same thing. You go to Hong Kong, the same thing. Singapore, the same thing. So you go to the Philippine bookstores, and you will find that it's deserted. And you know, and I said to myself, it's either they're selling the wrong books, or they don't know where their market lies. Then came Big Bad Wolf, and I went there, and I was surprised that it was full of people, and I ended up saying, since it's 24 hours, I went there at 12 midnight, and it was still full of people. And I bought my favorite books. I'm an aviation buff. The only thing I did not find was Jane's, what you call aviation books, or anyway. But I want to go back again, and I don't know what would be the right time to visit. But like I said, you've done something that made a guy like me change his mind, that Filipinos do know how to read or want to read. You're selling the books that should have been in our bookstores, which unfortunately is not available in our bookstores. So I just hope that the prices are just right for our people, and that you have done this the second time. I hope you will continue doing this. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Bobby.
Thank you, Sir
Thank
Bobby.
you for your support and your kind words. We have the same feeling where we even walk to our own Big Bad Wolf event. You know, to see the crowd coming in, to see people so excited about book is a very inspiring sight. So we always also invite our suppliers, our publishers to also witness the event, because when they are publishing books, you know, they actually don't know who it reached to. And with all the negative news about, you know, the poor economy, poor retail, bookstore closing, downsizing, it's always very uplifting to see books are still being sought after. You know, when we see our customers sometimes fighting over books, you know, certain popular authors. We have Paulo Coelho even tweeting about Big Bad Wolf Pampanga when we were there last month. I think these are all positive news, especially for readers who are just happy to see, especially young children, flipping books, you know, sitting on the floor, reading, is something that we wanted to continue. We needed the support of everyone, and we hope to bring to even countries that have no access to books. I mean, we've been to countries where they don't even have a bookstore. Right, so we really hope that Big Bad Wolf can have a presence there as well, and to continue to do what we advocate to do. But thank you, Sir Bobby. Thank you so much.
Yes, Sir Bobby.
Let me just add that when I go to Tokyo, I go to that famous bookstore. Forgot the name now. Huh? Yeah, anyway, that's a 8-story bookstore, and like I said, in Asia, we are the English readers, and you go to Vietnam, they don't read English, so you're lucky that all your English books can be sold here. And in Japan, there are 2 floors that are really in English. The rest are not. So I just go to the English bookstores, and yes, I really have a great time when I'm there in Japan. So I'm glad that since I don't go to Japan as often, I'm glad that I hope, as I said, Big Bad Wolf will come back again, and so that I can, like the last time I bought 10 books, I ended up practically, I think I did not even read 2 books yet, but never mind. Now that you're here, I'll probably buy another 10. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Bobby.
I even suggested to them to include Filipino or Cebuano authors, just like Renato Madrid, a collection of Southern Harvest, a collection of short stories. And the priest is still active now. And he has a good collection of short stories for that matter. Okay, no more questions from our members of the media? No more. Okay. Done? Okay. So let's wrap up and we'll have no more time. Ma'am Jacqueline, your parting statement to our members of the media and to the audience.
I think we always get very strong support from the media, and I'm really grateful for that. It's because the media understood the importance of the printed word, and they always wanted that to never end, right? I mean, and they are also very avid readers, first of all, before they even go to journalism. And where we see that, you know, how the world changed and a lot of people are reading less, it's always a need for when journalists wanted to support someone advocating for that as well. So we're actually in the same objective, and I'm really grateful for the media support for all our events in Philippines, especially in Cebu. And I want to request for your help to continue to spread the word. You know, people said that Bibel is very successful, you know, but we still have a lot of people who never heard about us. And the very important message that I need to reach out to customer is that it's not just about the books you buy for yourself, right? I know that is everybody's joy, but the book that one extra book that you buy for someone else, you know, the someone else, it could be a friend, it could be a colleague, it could be a child of a friend, it could be someone back in a hometown, a niece or a nephew, or even a neighbor. That book could be the one that changed people's life. So BBU's mission is to change the world one book at a time, and we need that to go very, very far, and only through you, our media friends, that we're able to continue to carry this message for us. So thank you so much for having me here, and thank you so much for your support.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Jackie, and I hope you'll come back for another book run, for another book sale. Sir Toby?
Okay, again, I'd like to invite everyone to go to the Big Bad Wolf book sale. While you're there, and while you're there doing your Christmas shopping, maybe you can do a little bit of Christmas shopping for the kids in the Red Readerhood program as well. We're there at the end after the cashiers. Buy a book, it will be donated to GK, and these books will get to public schools, barangay reading centers, all throughout Cebu, and again, as last year, as far as Leyte, Samar, Bicol, and with your help, maybe we can surpass the 5,000 books that we reached last year. So again, thank you again, Sir Art, for inviting us tonight.
Thank you, Sir Toby. In behalf of our regular host, Sir Eli Baquero, my co-alternate host, Attorney Paul Clarence Uminal, this is your host for today, Art Barry. Thank you and see you next time.